Welcome to the Logistics Point interviews. We are joined by Gary Rosia Taylor from Descartes, their sales director, and we're going to talk about last mile and Gary's participation at our last mile and e-commerce event on November the 28th in London. Gary, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me on again.
What do you think has been the biggest transformation in the last mile for the last couple of years, considering all the crises and problems we have had?
I think the biggest change has really been customer expectations or consumer expectations, whether it's on B2B or B2C side of things. We really transitioned from this very structured, very rigid process of working, whether it was in an office or in a store or whatever capabilities. And we've actually sort of taken a step back from that. And many people have this uber flexibility now. People's lives have completely been transformed and become a lot more flexible. Now that presents many challenges for delivery, for logistics and supply chain sector. But the biggest one is the expectations haven't changed. People still want to know what is happening, when it's happening, who's going to be delivering it, or when it's going to come. And that's really been driven by some of the big e-commerce platforms, food delivery companies, and also ride sharing and taxi companies as well.
There was a lot of flexibility during the pandemic on both sides of, consumers were also prepared to wait. Are they still prepared to wait for that service and that delivery?
Things have become a little bit or a lot more focused on speed. Obviously, quality and service is obviously a major differentiator for a lot of organizations out there, and meeting expectations or certainly exceeding expectations is there. Things have actually become a little bit more rigid for the delivery or for the logistics companies, based upon pace, speed, quality, and you really have to sort of tread a fine line. It's become harder to meet those expectations from a consumer standpoint. The technology that's driving this is also very difficult to change or to manipulate.
Which one should come first, or are they all on first place?
You have to have a fine balance between all three. With organizations that focus purely on speed, the quality seriously deteriorates. Your chosen third-party logistic or 3PL is representing you, and that's the final point that customer will engage with your brand or your service, and therefore who you choose is absolutely critical. There is absolutely a balance between quality and speed that I think customers are expecting. B2C retail space is also looking at ESG and looking at what is that particular organization doing to deliver my product quickly, to deliver my product in an effective fashion, meeting my expectations in terms of my delivery window. But what are you also doing from from an economy standpoint? What are you doing to make sure that you're not delivering excessive
And here I want to bring your participation and also Descartes' participation in our event on the 28th of November in London on Last Mile Urban Logistics. What will people be able to learn and to talk about?
It's always a good opportunity anyway to have an open discussion between organizations, whether it's competitive technologies, understanding what everybody's doing, but whilst also understanding what the requirements for some of the organizations out there, whether it's 3PL or direct. But from my perspective, what I would like organizations to take away from that particular conversation is there is a plethora of technology out there that can be utilized to assist in any one of those four things that I've talked about today. Now, sometimes it's going to be taking an entire suite of products to make sure that you can do all of those, and meet those goals and objectives. Sometimes it's going to be plugging one particular point or one particular piece of technology that can really save or solve or change an underperforming part of your business or your organization. And so for me, it's really establishing what is most relevant for you, because not every organization is this. One of them has a cutoff at 3:00 for next day. One of them has a cutoff at 8:00 in the evening. Now, those are two very different scenarios, because what you then communicate to your customer, you probably don't want to communicate to them at 10:00 in the evening. So actually that has to wait until the following morning, maybe 6:00. And then at that point, the customer may go, oh, that doesn't work for me. And all of a sudden, that communication piece, which you're turning into a positive mindset, actually doesn't work on that those two different, or potentially the same process doesn't work on those two scenarios. It's all about understanding and identifying, what is the challenge, what is the pain point, and actually what is the technical or technology solution that can be applied to it.
Working for a company like Descartes, I'm sure you have a very good understanding of what type of technologies and how can people choose the right thing and the right provider for them. What type of advice would you give when it comes to choosing the supplier of the technology, but also, as you mentioned, whether it is the full suite of it or just a part of it?
Not all organizations are going to look at the same technology and go, that's perfect. Look at organizations that are similar to you as a business, who works in a similar way. So that's the first one. The second one, from a technology standpoint, is who's going to help me get into the future. Because what is relevant now, and the conversations that I have on a day-to-day basis is, we implemented this solution 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, but actually it's not doing the business today. Okay, how can we support? How can we help? It is like open heart. So removing and taking out a solution that has been embedded to run the supply chain and logistics from point to point, product to product. It's not simple. I say it's not simple. It can be as difficult as you make it. And unfortunately, when you're doing thousands and thousands and thousands of deliveries every day, week, or month, that is open heart surgery. So my advice is always look for something for the future, not for solving your problems today. It's obviously a big part of it. And then lastly is look for the experience. Look for the experience within technology providers. What I see on a really, really common basis when we're going through cycles and processes is lots of newer organizations, newer technologies. By the way, there is absolutely a space for new technology and new examples. When you have an organization saying, yes, we can deliver it, challenge them on those pieces. One of the things that I like to work with is a healthy conversation around, uncomfortably realistic. And that could mean, a deployment date, a drop dead, go live timeline. But those things, if you have an organization saying, yes, we can go live in 3 weeks, and you're trying to do open heart surgery, the answer is no. So really just double check, second guess, and really understand what is truly capable from the organization that you are looking to acquire technology from.
Gary, thank you very much for your time, and for everyone watching, you can meet Gary on the 28th of November in London, talking about urban logistics, brand awareness, how logistics companies and retailers as well communicate with the consumers. And the link is in the description below. Thank you very much.